these questions are a distraction from the main issue, which is that Donald Trump is defying the Supreme Court of the United States, and every American should be concerned about this.
Congresswoman, I know you can't mean that, and I'm not trying to play gotcha here. I know you don't
every
mean
American,
that American
Laura,
citizens
American
are distractions.
Another representative, she's from Michigan, right? Arizona. Representative Yassamin Ansari, she went on Fox to talk about, well, it was supposed to be talking about what's going on with this Venezuelan gang member and everything, but of course not Venezuelan, this El Salvadorian gang member. And of course it turned into, well, yeah, Trump's a bad dude.
So, before we go, Congresswoman, also in Maryland, I know American citizens and crimes committed against them might not be a top priority. It is for this show. An illegal alien from Guatemala was just charged with his girlfriend's murder in Maryland, same state, of course, Mr. Ábrego García is from. She was missing for 2 weeks, mother of 2 young kids. Police found her buried in a forest. Do you know about this story? Do your constituents care about those victims? And do you intend on calling that family, since Maryland residents are obviously a concern in some way, shape, or form for you and all the people of your state?
I'm appalled by any violence that takes place in this country. As a former city official, I have a very strong pro-public safety record, and that's why I believe in the rule of law, and that's why this case is so important. I think these questions are a distraction from the main issue, which is that Donald Trump is defying the Supreme Court of the United States, and every American should be concerned about this.
Congresswoman, I know you can't mean that, and I'm not trying to play gotcha here. I know you don't mean that American citizens are distractions.
No,
their victims aren't distractions.
You are changing the subject. Today we are here to talk about the lack of due process for an individual who is illegally deported from this country. That is the subject of this interview.
But you have
any other act of violence.
But Congresswoman, I'm giving you just so everyone understands. Appalling. Yeah, well, the violence committed by illegal immigrants against innocent Americans and legal immigrants has been appalling.
It is devastating.
Absolutely appalling.
Any violence,
and I wish there was one moment where Democrats acted like they cared about that. Well, apparently it's all collateral damage to Democrats who sat by with the open border. Yeah.
Right now we are worried about the constitutional crisis.
Right. Oh, the Constitution?
We are worried about the constitutional crisis and the lack of this president following the Supreme Court. I'm sure you believe in the Supreme Court and you believe in the rule of law in this country.
Were you worried when I know this is the progressive way of dealing with interviews where you just, I'm not trying to talk over you. I'm actually trying to get a question answered.
Yeah, it's devastating, but you guys won't do anything about it. And you guys are the ones who let all these people in, and you didn't say jack. So what about the due process for the people who've been murdered? What about the due process for the people who had a son die of fentanyl, or who just are a little bit concerned when they're walking down the street because there's suddenly all of these illegals there? How about that? You guys didn't care about any of that. As a matter of fact, you did everything possible to run cover for it as what we think now could be as many as 15 million people came into the country in 4 years. So it's just a perfect example of the shell game that I'm always talking about. There are real issues that real Americans care about. That's why Donald Trump won the election. One of those issues is that we want America to be for Americans. It doesn't mean America has to just be for one type of skin color or ethnicity or something else. America has to be the very thing it was founded upon, which is that if you are an American citizen, what do you get? The right to pursue happiness, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, not the guarantee of happiness. But we will get the government off your back enough, which is what most of our ancestors were fleeing, wherever they came from. They were always fleeing authoritarian governments. And we created a system here, a system that a guy like Elie Wiesel, we showed you that loser, chocolate-filled loser yesterday, hamburger, hot dog-filled loser, who said that he wants to burn down the Constitution basically because it was written by old white men. Yet those old white men created the country that allows for more people to live freely than any other place ever.